What I found about it, it's like a Jamaican word. It's very clean.
Drama.
When I went in there, it was crazy. Chris had one job. Cook a fish, Chris.
Verdict.
It could go either way.
6 countries send their best chefs to plead their case. Who will take home the $10,000 award? All rise for the Maggi Food Court Caribbean Season 3. Previously on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, 6 defendants became 4 as the triple trials concluded with chefs Carrie, Damian, Jamilia, and Rayan coming out on top with the best courses. Chefs Jonathan and Kawami were sent packing as the chefs with the weakest courses on their respective teams. In this episode, it's the semi-finals. Tensions are high as we're now one step closer to the finish. Chefs Jamilia and Rayan must now face off against chefs Carrie and Damian to determine the final 2 moving on to the finals. This culinary case is presided over by Maggi Food Court Judge Jaron Geronimo Green. Our jury members are Business Executive Officer of Nestle Caribbean, Okino Petrie, Celebrity Chef Adrian Fort, and cooking show host from the Food Network, Roger Mooking.
In this episode, our chefs will be challenged with a mystery basket. 3 ingredients, 40 minutes, 1 dish. Who will be victorious? Let the trials begin. Welcome back to Maggi Food Court Kitchen. This is the semi-final round, and you have made it here because you've made the cut. Do you have what it takes? So for the first segment, we will have Chef Jamilia and Chef Damian. I'll ask the other 2 chefs to exit the court.
Battle 1. Chef Jamilia versus Chef Damian.
Chef Jamilia, Chef Damian, I'll invite you to open your mystery baskets. So in the baskets, we have salt fish, we have almond milk, and we have aloe vera. Their country we call that Cinco Bible. You have 40 minutes in which to create what will be in Maggi Food Court your live or die dish. Chefs, your cooking time starts, Bailiff, right now.
When I walked out and I saw the glowing basket, looking all dramatic, and then we bust it. And like I said, the almond milk, I was happy. I was cool to see saltfish, very excited to see aloes, not so much. Aloes just stink.
When we got to go ahead to open the mystery box and I saw the items, I was like, what the heck? Aloe vera? I'm cool with almond milk, I'm cool with saltfish, but aloe vera, like, I don't even like it. But I went in the groove of things, and as I go along, I get my hot water started, I drop my saltfish to boil.
Almond milk. Now I'm going to say aloe vera, but in Jamaica we say Cinco Bible. Cinco Bible. Then we have saltfish. What pops out to you?
Smoothie. Honestly, this is a really tricky thing because the consistency of the aloe vera is kind of like okra, you know, like a little bit slimy.
First thing I did was obviously take the saltfish, get the skin off, and get that boiling. Because you gotta boil the saltfish at least twice, depending on how salty it is. So I want to get that going, then get my plantains cooking, because I knew that was gonna be. I wanted to let that set so I could fry that as a croquette. Get the sauce on, get the aloes cut down, and the mango salsa. And then obviously I had to marinate the fish so you get some good flavor in that fish. Anyway, I was gonna season that up Bajan style, so we had some Maggi green seasoning and the pepper sauce, and I think that fish would have hit.
Got some veggies, some bell peppers, red onions, butternut squash, and I decided to do a roasted bell pepper almond milk sauce How I arrived at that, I roasted my bell pepper and I reduced some of the almond milk. I then sauteed veggies and I infused the almond milk and the roasted bell pepper, and I processed that. Then I placed back on the stove to come to a boil.
Left. Whenever I use saltfish, I always like to add something sweet to it. So it's always be sweet and salty. So that's how I always approach saltfish. I'm a milk, just a whole coconut milk. I like ginger. I don't know if y'all have noticed that so far, but I put ginger in a lot of things.
I did a saltfish chickpea croquette. I processed the chickpea. I picked the saltfish from the boiling water, and I also did some seasoning, some bell peppers, some onions. I add some Maggi all-purpose seasoning. I also add some Maggi fish seasoning to that. And I think I add an hot pepper sauce. I also pickled my aloe vera. I also pickled the aloe vera with some more vinegar, sugar, mainly sugar to kind of temper down that bitter taste from the aloe vera.
I believe Chef Jamilia is definitely a worthy opponent. Although in competition, you could have 5 fantastic rounds, and it just takes that one bad round to send you home. And I saw it in her face that she wasn't that excited about the ingredients. So I saw the whole vibe change.
Bread my croquette and I dropped in the fryer.
Jamilia needed a plug, so she ended up unplugging the fryer to plug in what she needed, but accidentally and unbeknownst to Damian, he went to go use the fryer now, and the oil dropped because the thing was unplugged.
Now, how I did that tuna, I seasoned it to taste and I seared on both sides. Not all the way through because I still wanted that pink look. I made a kale, pickled aloe vera and pickled red onion salad. I placed the butternut squash puree at the base of the bowl. I placed the kale salad on the side of that, and then I add my chickpea saltfish croquette on top of the butternut. I also place on top of that my tuna loin.
Personally, if I was judging the 2 dishes on presentation, personally I think mine looked a little better, but I can't judge it on taste, so I can't tell you which one was better. The presentation is only half the battle.
Three, two, one.
All right, chef, step away from the counter. Your time for cooking done. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. That's how we do it in Maggi Food Court. All right, Chef Damian, Chef Jamilia, awesome job. But as you know, the final decision is up to the jurors.
Battle 2, Chef Carrie versus Chef Rayan.
Your time for cooking starts. Starts now.
When I went in the kitchen, the only thing that was on my mind was the basket. What was in it? I saw the almond milk though. It couldn't hide.
All right, so 2 Jamaicans in the kitchen, Rayan and Carrie. And of course, Jamaica's national dish is ackee and saltfish. And saltfish is actually the ingredient in the mystery basket. So I think they should be really comfortable preparing something.
I mean, they look very flustered from the sight of the aloe vera or Cinco Bible.
Yeah.
You know, once they both saw it, the expression on their face told me everything I needed to know. This is gonna be an intense round.
So the first thing though, when I saw the aloe vera was to make a foam. You know, growing up, we always get that little washout something. I don't know about you guys, but we get like egg white with the orange juice and the aloe vera. So I decided to use that. That was the first thing that come to mind, and just add some honey to try to balance that bitterish taste.
Okay, I have a question. You call it Cinco Bible, that's the aloes. How you spell Cinco Bible? How you spell that?
No man, it's one of those words where we don't spell. Somebody ask if it's spelled Cinco Bible, you say Cinco Bible.
Did the mashed potato in 9.5 in the pressure cooker. You know, quicker than fast. boil the saltfish. I washed it first, I boiled it, set it aside.
My plan to do the saltfish was to do a choker. So I was roasting my eggplants and cook it on real nicely. And then I was gonna use which I did, use the almond milk to make a cream. No, I won't use all of this, you can get some. But I did not clean my board properly after cutting up the aloe vera, and it made all my seasoning when my saltfish was just about to be ready. Everything just bitter, so I have to throw away everything. Good thing say I did cook enough saltfish, so I had to just hurry up and go back.
You're one segment away from the grand finale. I mean, there were 16 chefs at the start. You have now made it to the top 4.
You know, it's the semi-finals, and they have saltfish in front of them, and they're both Jamaicans. You don't want to go home by messing up with saltfish.
No.
You know, you're not going to be able to live with yourself.
For me, the sauce was the most important part of the dish, or is the most important part of the dish, because that sauce really brings that dish together. It bridges the gap between everything. The sauce is a passion fruit sauce infused with aloe vera and almond nut milk.
So I burnt the thyme to put it into the cream that I was making. So the cream that I was making was with almond milk, heavy cream, some burnt thyme, and pimento. So that will kind of give it like, you know, even though we want that sweetish taste, we still want to give it a little herb kind of vibe. The reason my face looked like that when I tasted the aloe vera was because I had just tasted my saltfish and I was like, I just want to make sure that all the components were supposed to come together. And mentally I was thinking, is it really going to?
When they said 5 minutes remained, then I wasn't shaken by the time or anything, because I wasn't behind. The saltfish was done, the sauce was done, the red cabbage was done, everything was done. I didn't want to put it on a white plate because I want the color conscious with the mashed potato, and I just want everything to be seen. I just plate it. I don't know how I did that. I didn't have a plan. I just started to plate it, honestly.
I'm happy about it, but not very happy about the end product, as I said, because you see the things and now you have a plan, but the best plan is to go in without a plan. But initially, I just really wanted that choker thing to come out, to be honest with you. I really wanted it to happen, but it didn't, so did the best I could with what I had left. So yeah, I am somewhat pleased with the results, yeah.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, chef, step away from the counter. The challenge is done. All right, tell me how you feel about the dish.
I feel the end product is, to me, it look amazing. It look
Amazing. We'll see about that. Chef Carrie, how do you feel about your stuffed butternut squash?
I feel pretty good, chef.
You feel pretty good. Well, as you know, the final decision is up to the jurors. At the end, we will see who is amazing and who is pretty good, or who will be balling.
You pushed me, honestly.
I did.
Push me.
Your stove is still on.
It's time to present the dishes to the jury.
Chef Damian, tell us about your dish.
Today I did a Asian marinated gray snapper on a saltfish and plantain croquette with a mango and aloe salsa, little plantain crisp, and a almond milk ginger bisque.
How did you incorporate the aloe into the salsa?
I cooked the aloe, then I peeled it, cut it up, marinated it in some citrus, and then I added that to the salsa.
So this is kind of like a surf and surf.
All right, thank you, chef.
Thank you.
Once again, beautiful presentation from Damian.
Yeah, it's a very clean plate. He's not trying to do any little rainbow thing on the edges. Sometimes that's not necessary. Simple is a little bit better. Try the salsa. It's a little bit bitter, in my opinion. I would think it's balanced with I don't know if that's what he's... Yeah, it's almost not palatable.
The fish patty is quite delicious.
Yeah.
The seared fish is a little salty.
Yes.
The salt cod, funnily enough, is undersalted. Wow, we're seeing a little bit of a break in Damian here today.
So I think let's welcome Jamilia.
Chef Jamilia, please tell us about your dish.
Well, what I've made for you today is a saltfish chickpea croquette that's sitting on a bed of butternut squash puree. I also made a salad from kale. I pickled the aloe vera with some pickled red onion. I also have a tuna loin sitting on the croquette with the almond milk and roasted bell pepper sauce spread it over that.
All right, thank you, chef. I think the plating is nice in terms of how it looks in my opinion. I'm a little bit worried about how she pickled the aloe vera.
It's interesting, right?
Indeed.
Very dense.
Yeah, extremely dense.
Very heavy, like dumpling. And I don't taste saltfish.
But in mine, there's huge chunks of saltfish.
I don't taste it.
So then that means there's an issue with the consistency of the batter.
Like, look at mine. I don't see hardly any saltfish. It's a dumpling.
I got a big piece of salt from the saltfish.
One thing I really like on this, though, is this seared loin with some of the pickle and that sauce.
Ooh.
That is a nice bite.
I think it's time to welcome the next chef. Chef Carrie, tell us about your dish.
All right, so from our Mr. Basket, what I have is I prepared a almond milk cream at the bottom, and as we started off also with some roasted thyme and pimentos, and then we also have from the Mr. Basket I have saltfish in a coconut sauce alongside some fresh seasonings. And then we have put that in as a filling for our grilled butternut squash. For the aloe vera, I made a honey aloe vera foam alongside a grilled pepper just to complement it. The foam is going to be a little bit bitter, but it is supposed to give that, and I added the honey to kind of balance it off a little bit. Right.
Okay, thank you, chef.
Welcome, thank you.
At a first glance, looks very pretty. I like the fact she used black plate also.
Yeah.
Makes the dish pop more. I was very concerned that the squash wasn't going to be cooked.
But it is.
Nice flavor, nice and smoky. Wow. It works.
Yeah.
With Cinco Bible foam,
Yeah. When you put it all together, you get a very good flavor.
I have so much bone in my saltfish, I could eat this like chopsticks.
Oh boy.
The saltfish is salty, creamy on top of creamy for no reason. The almond sauce have barely flavor. The squash have too much allspice flavor. Not interested.
All right, I think it's time for us to welcome Rayan.
Rayan, what do you have here?
Saltfish steak. However, the saltfish, it didn't fall, it kind of break. So that was the aim. So the sauce is a passion fruit saffron sauce. The saffron came in because I tried to infuse the aloe vera to give that saffron flavor. That's the aim. Is a cream mashed potato, and the red cabbage is I braised it and I cook it down in the almond.
All right, thank you, chef. And this is one big piece of saltfish.
I'm actually, I'm not gonna lie, the mash is kind of nice.
I go spend my time doing the deboning.
But for this much money, you don't want the chef to do the deboning for you?
Well, clearly you didn't think so. I go pick it up for him as well. Usually we pick up the saltfish, but I see he was going for a steak as he mentioned before.
The cabbage is nice, the sauce is nice, the mash is nice.
The saltfish salty too.
This a pita. It's also till. Jesus! You can't take more than 2 bites out of this, Raja.
I tell you, my favorite thing on this dish, no joke,
Cabbage.
is the okra.
The cabbage is nice.
This one piece of roast lamb and one big glass of ice water.
Yeah, but I'm doing
Instead of the mash to kind of help to cleanse the palate, they have 2 crackers. I think it's time, guys, for us to what?
deliberate.
Let's hear what the jury has to say.
So we've seen Damian, Rayan, Jamilia, and Carrie, and now we need to go all the way down to 2.
Damian's dish. What do you think about Damian's dish? I thought it looked nice, but there's quite a lot of technical errors, and I think that he missed the mark with seasoning. You know, like there was a flaccidness to the chip that it shouldn't be crispy, and you should know that if you put a wet thing on a crispy chip, it's gonna get soggy. Like there's just a lot of basic technical flaws that I don't expect at this level of execution.
And then Jamilia, right? I think, you know, she's played it safe again, in my opinion, right? The dish was not as memorable. The way how she incorporated the Simple Bible or the aloe vera, it was bitter. She kept the elements of the green on it, and it just never blended well for me. I felt like I was getting a washout.
What I liked about Carrie is that her confidence kept building as the trajectory of the competition was going on. And you could see her progressing, understanding the environment better, understanding her competitors better, finding her position and her story in it. But I felt in this dish that she presented in this course, it was not her best work. You know when the stakes is at, you have to bring your highest level at this. It's the semifinals.
And when we jump over to Rayan now, I thought what he wanted to do was a little bit too ambitious in terms of a saltfish steak, right?
Everything to me felt like an afterthought. It felt like he was figuring it out as he went versus, you know, a complete ideation that he wanted to execute.
I think we've made a decision. Bail it?
Chefs, Chef Damian, Chef Rayan, Chef Jamilia, Chef Carrie. We have come to the end of the semi-final round of Maggi Food Court Caribbean. In my hand, I have 2 names. There are 4 of you. 2 of you will move to battle each other in the ultimate finals, and 2 of you will be going home. When I call your name, I want you to step forward. So this is the decision we've all been waiting for. Who will battle in the finals of Maggi Food Court Caribbean? Chef Jamilia, step forward. Chef Rayan, step forward. Chefs, the journey has been good, but unfortunately, you'll both be going home.
There's no word to describe how I feel, but disappointed. I wasn't picked yet again because of a safe plate.
Disappointed in myself, honestly. The goal was to go to the final, honestly. I let down myself, I let down my teammate, I let down my family.
Chef Carrie and Chef Damian, you've earned a place in the finals of Maggi Food Court Caribbean.
It feels amazing. It feels amazing, to be honest with you, to reach this far in the competition. It feels really good. Really, really good.
It feels great to be in the winning seat. I'm not really a fella that shows a lot of emotion, so I'm fairly low key, but I promise you I'm very excited to be making it into the final 2. But I felt that I was going to be in the finals, but you don't want to go into it too overconfident, right? But I did in my heart believe that I was going to be in the finals.
All or nothing for the rest of the competition, for the finals, going into the finals. It's all or nothing.
Anything you want to tell Carrie?
Carrie? Nah. Hang on. Me and Carrie will talk tomorrow.
The stakes are high. It's going to get hot. Are you up to the challenge? We shall see.
Next time on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, the conclusion of the nail-biting semi-finals has revealed our Season 3 finalists as chefs Damian and Carrie make their appearance in the ultimate showdown clad in the coveted final round red jackets. the final 5-course case of Barbados versus Jamaica. Who will take home the title and $10,000 US? This is Maggi Food Court Caribbean.